Imagine going a day or even a few hours without your smartphone or internet connection. Most of us imagine chaos, withdrawal, or exclusion without it. Internet access and users have been growing rapidly at an unstoppable rate since the early 1990s, the beginning of a generational revolution. This didn't happen by accident.
People want to go on the internet and check out their friends, so why not build a website that offers that? Friends, pictures, profiles, whatever you can visit, browse around. Maybe it's someone you just met at a party. But I'm not talking about a dating site. I'm talking about taking the entire social experience of college and putting it online.
Innovators to the new era of technology jumped at the opportunity to connect people. They target early adopters, especially in the younger generation, to accept this constant connection to people and information. We like easy, effortless access. We like updating pictures, receiving comments, and sharing information. Sadly though, internet and social media addiction is rising, causing many terrible effects to our lives as humans. Addicts are developing a dependency. Human relationships are affected, and distractions clutter our cognitive thinking. By no means is internet and social media a bad thing at all. It's very beneficial in many ways. However, we have to learn how to control and limit our use, or else we are going to end up being controlled by it. 1 in 8 Americans is affected by internet addiction. This is approximately 39 million people, more than the whole population of the entire state of California. Internet addicts are taken away from the internet, they feel uneasy, anxious, go through withdrawal, confusion, and headaches. Internet addiction releases dopamine, the same chemical that is released in drug addicts, sex addicts, and gambling addicts. The addiction can be explained by Malcolm Gladwell's theory of the tipping point. The internet dependency epidemic has grown and people have adopted it as a norm, but addicts are abusing this luxury. New York Times columnist David Brooks states, "We burden the internet as servants for information access and liberate ourselves." Internet addiction is a problem when it's used as an alternative for human interaction. Social media, online video games, internet porn, and marathons of scrolling news feeds is the change that is locking these people indoors. Self-worth is measured by numbers of followers, likes, or retweets, like this actually has a meaning. We become slaves to the web and it controls addicts, feeding them constant information and distracting them from the world around them.
Kinda ironic, ain't it? How these touch screens can make us lose touch.
As we become more involved in the internet, we begin to develop virtual lives. We become more comfortable with the people we communicate with over the internet than the people we are physically with.
I think I've seen it in meetings to some degree, depending on the style of the meeting and the level of engagement of the people that are participating.
Right.
In terms of being truly engaged in the conversation or being easily distracted by an email or Facebook message that pops up or any other social media that they're just kind of being easily distracted.
The essence of nonverbal communication, human interaction, emotions, and experiences that you gain from physical interaction are lost. We realize this, but are oftentimes way too stubborn to make a change.
This is not a technology problem. This is strictly a social behavioral,
Right.
How a person uses technology, how people are directing them to use technology. It could be a parenting issue, it could be a control of the classroom issue, and also just a very personal social behavioral issue and being able to prioritize what's important.
We sometimes want to be distracted from life, but these distractions can be detrimental to our health. As you scroll through social media, you are limited to small amounts of information that you focus on for a couple seconds and then redirect your attention somewhere else. Social media is a culprit. People find themselves in a succession of distraction. From email to Facebook ad, Tumblr GIFs, a cat video on YouTube, 10 Snapchat stories, vines of little kids cussing, and an Instagram pic of your cousin's dessert at Red Lobster. We don't realize how little we actually sit down and focus on one thing for a long period of time.
The ability to pay attention not only underpins kind of ways of thinking that are pretty obvious, contemplativeness, reflection, introspection, but what we know from brain studies is that the ability to pay attention also is very important for our ability to build memories, to transfer information from our short-term memory to our long-term memory. And only when we do that do we weave new information into everything else we have stored in our brain.
Even you're doing a research project, there's so many resources that are available to you that you spend a lot of time just trying to figure out what the resources are instead of very easily picking one or two and going deep into those. So you've wasted all this time on thinking you need to get the perfect answer and not really given that same amount of time to picking one and really thinking about it.
It's pushing us all in the direction of skimming and scanning and multitasking, and it's not encouraging us or even giving us an opportunity to engage in more attentive ways of thinking.
You end up lost in a perpetual state of distraction, wasting hours that you could be exercising, spending time with loved ones, volunteering, advancing in your career, or enjoying the little things in life.
Choice, yes, but this one, my friends, we cannot autocorrect. We must do it ourselves.
I want to present a challenge to you. Go on a walk for an hour or so. Go to your next social event without your phone. Take a camping trip or vacation completely excluded from the internet for a couple of weeks. You'll begin to notice more around you that you have never noticed before, whether it is having a deeper conversation with somebody, participating more in class or job activities, or just enjoying life.
It's okay that you don't constantly know what's going on. I mean, you have to encourage them to put those things aside until they're done focusing on what they need to do, and that there's a time and a place for it.
We've done our needs assessment, we recognize the problem, we have to agree as a society and demonstrate to our kids that overusing the internet and social media is dangerous to our well-being. The goal is not to cut out technology or social media at all. We need to learn how to control and limit our use. At the rate we are going, we are born with microchips that know everything about us, how we feel, what we eat, what we do, who we talk to, where we are. If we don't learn to control this, we will be controlled, like a marionette hanging from the so-called cloud that we obsess over.